Well, their husbands may be fierce political enemies, but the wives of Kevin Rudd and Malcolm Turnbull spoke with one voice today in support of Burma's detained pro-democracy leader Aung San Suu Kyi. They joined hundreds of people on the steps of the Sydney Opera House to demand the release of the military, to demand that the Burmese military regime release her from house arrest.
She's more than 8,000 kilometres away, but Aung San Suu Kyi can still pull a crowd. People from all walks of life gathering in the pro-democracy icon's name. Some new faces.
We should represent not only the young generation but our whole country against what she's going through.
Some older.
We are fighting for democracy for our country.
Others simply too moved for words.
For safety and well-being.
But it was the ladies of power who came with a message.
We want the world to know that we are deeply saddened and angered by your long incarceration, but inspired by the sacrifices you've made and continue to make.
The opposition leader's wife also moved by her plight.
Though we are far away from you, you are so often in our hearts and in our thoughts and in our prayers. We look at you and we see one of the great heroines of our times.
Aung San Suu Kyi has spent 14 of the last 20 years under house arrest since her party won elections in a landslide. The Nobel Peace Laureate detained for a further 18 months in August.
The women right across Australia are standing up for freedom, and they're standing alongside Aung San Suu Kyi, and they're standing alongside the 2,150 prisoners of conscience that are in Burmese jails at the moment.
The gathering observing a minute's silence for the long-suffering leader. A small but devoted crowd of about 300 people have gathered here at Sydney's Opera House in solidarity with Aung San Suu Kyi, calling for her release. It's something that Asian leaders were silent on at a weekend summit. But at the ASEAN talks, the Thai Prime Minister did say his Burmese counterpart indicated he sees a role for Ms Suu Kyi in fostering reconciliation ahead of next year's elections. And her supporters hope she'll be free to take part in that poll. Rudd and Malcolm, World News Australia.